Hello, my name is Caroline Bain and I have overall responsibility for the commodity services and forecasts at Capital Economics. It's Friday the 3rd of December and this is your week in review. And it's been quite a week. Of course, there's still so much uncertainty surrounding the Omicron virus variant. Questions like how serious it is, how quickly it will spread, whether current vaccines will be effective and how governments will respond. But either way, it clearly represents a downside risk to our GDP forecasts. However, we think the impact on inflation is more ambiguous. Our chief North America economist, Paul Ashworth, made the point in a note last weekend that while a collapse in oil prices would be disinflationary, if China persists with its zero COVID stance, which our China team thinks is likely, then supply chain bottlenecks could actually worsen. And staying with the US, we outlined in the Capital Daily on Wednesday how the Omicron variant and the more hawkish comments by Fed Chair Powell present downside risks to our forecast that the yield on the 10-year Treasury will rise next year. Closer to home, it's been a busy week for the commodities team, trying to make sense of the sometimes violent moves in prices and thinking about how the latest developments affect our oil demand and supply forecasts. OPEC met on Thursday and perhaps rather surprisingly decided to stick with their planned increase in output of 400,000 barrels per day in January. My colleague Edward Gardner put out a note this week explaining our latest thinking on oil demand and why we still think that oil prices will fall in 2022. We also think copper prices will fall back next year. That's mainly down to the ongoing slowdown in China's property and construction sector. This copper forecast was cited in a note amusingly titled Red Hot Chile Set to Cool, in which our Latin America economist Nikhil Sangani outlined why he thinks growth in Chile's economy will slow next year. He also mentioned policy tightening and the risk of Omicron-related restrictions as additional factors weighing on growth. Well, that's all I've got time for right now. Hopefully I've given you a flavour of the research this week, but there's much more on our website, so please go there to check it all out. Thank you very much for listening and have a great weekend.